Well, hello. Here's hoping the sound works. Fingers crossed. If the sound goes, please inform Hewlett Packard and Best Buy that they are liars, that my sound does not work, that there is something seriously wrong with my computer. That's just my disclaimer now. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Tina. I read books and I talk about books. There's no special effects going on here, no theme music, and half the time, no sound either, or actually, garbled sound. My sound speeds up so you can't understand me. I don't know why. If you could please check out my Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Friday with all the garbled sound, and the If Then Friday afternoons, and of course, I don't have one over here. Flashback Monday, where I talk about all the books in Romantic Times Book Review magazine. Sometimes I get carried away and do as many as 80 books. So if you're looking for a new Regency, or a contemporary romance, or an inspirational, or mainstream, or sci-fi, or paranormal, or Harlequin, please check those Flashback Mondays out. And if you can't understand any of the videos, run closed caption if you have to, but just let them run. I show the book so you can see what I'm talking about if you can't hear what I say. So, anyways, this is a sad note today. Um, this is book 21 of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. This is also the book that I've been waiting for. And I'm using an old dinosaur as a backup because I don't have to do this. I don't know if it'll work. The dinosaur is getting pretty old and it's crashing and it has no battery. But I bought you in hopes of doing good videos. And what have you done for me? Garbled. So please cross your fingers that this works. So this is the book that I have been waiting for, that I knew was coming. I had not read it yet. We've been reading all of the Black Dagger Brotherhood books, so please check out all of those book reviews. Please check out the James Patterson's ones and the C.S. Harris St. Cyr series. Yes, ma'am. So this is the one that I've heard quite a bit about and I knew was coming. And it was heart-wrenching. You've got a tail in your face. For those of you who didn't see it on that computer, the dinosaur, my cat just flapped the computer. But anyways, let's get to it. So, this book starts 3 years after the last book. Oh, and be aware, spoilers. Lots and lots of spoilers. One of the podcasts I watch has an old taboo thing. Beep, 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 beep. Warning, spoiler. So apparently Lassiter has been sulking for 3 years and feeling sorry for himself the last 3 years. Just a second. Let me just fix this. Okay. Feeling sorry for himself because he gave up Raven so that, Davina would be, I think would be happy with Lash. Oh, and where, oh, shoot. Well, I'm blind. So wait a second. Oh shoot. Shoot. All right, hang on a second. Now remember, I don't know how to edit. So I hope you are still here. I hope you didn't leave. So, Lassiter has been feeling sorry for himself, and he's been hiding up in the mountains, mourning, mourning Raven. And Davina has been enjoying her time with Lash severely. And we get these two new angels, Eddie and Adrian, and they are coming to bring Lash to the creator. And why these 6 foot something guys buy a Mini Cooper, I do not know. I do not understand the purpose of that, but that's what they do. So they go looking for Lassiter. Lassiter, deciding he's feeling so badly for himself, and he's remembering how he brought Tor back. So he goes to McDonald's. And that's where he meets Davina again, and they rekindle their relationship. Lassiter also finds a way out of Davina's dwelling. He's not supposed to be able to find a way out of her dwelling, but he does, and he starts up the Lessers again. And then during a conflict, Lassiter makes an appearance, and Vicious gets in his face. Where the hell have you been? Came the demand. Lassiter glanced at the other brothers and then the fallen angels. All of them were also waiting for an answer, just being less judgy about it, as if they might have recognized that sometimes people had a right to take a couple of nights off. A couple of nights? He took 3 years. You have no right to flake out on us, V snapped. You don't want to be my mother, fine, but don't take up space if you're not going to do stuff. And he says, F you. Lassiter cut in. Then he went on a roll, rising off the bed as his voice rose in volume. I effed that demon so Balthazar could have his female. I kept Davinia occupied that night while you all went into her lair. And I've done a dozen other stupid things I shouldn't have to make sure none of you get hurt or disappointed as you live your lives. So excuse me if I needed a break. By the end of it, he was yelling. When he finished, he flapped back down and hit the back of his tender head. And then Rage offers him a Tootsie. A Tootsie Pop. You remember how many licks does it get to the center? 1, 2, and the owl bites it on 3. That's showing age here. So, then we have Raven thinking about the past and all the stuff with her and Nate and Savage in the past. And, so Eddie, one of the fallen angels, talks to her. I don't blame you, he said, for taking a breather. I need a break too. Lots of brothers in your boy's room. He's not mine. All right. Want some? Oh no, thank you. You're the one who saved him, she said softly, when the demon attacked. So you were watching us. I thought I sensed something. She did not look away from the images upon the television. The idea that a square of glass could project moving pictures all the way up here on the mountains from downtown was incredible. You don't belong here, do you? The angel said. Neither do you, she says. Touché. I came here to take him away, so if you want him to have a chance to stay, and you're going to have to explain to me why you care about where he's at one way or the other. You are young and old by turns, the male eased back in the chair and peered into the bag as if hunting for the most perfectly formed triangle orange dusted Doritos. She tells about her, she was born a couple 100 years ago. She gives her little story, and they talk about Lassiter, and they talk about Lash. Lash is roaming Caldwell. Beth and George, we have a very sad moment with George the dog, and I'm gathering, this is just a hypothesis on my part, but George comes down with cancer, and he's only 5 years old. And Raven saves him. And I believe that because she saves him, he makes the dog immortal. Because that's the only way that explains what happens at the end of the book. So the fact that George still exists at the end of the book means that Raven made him immortal. That's the only solution. So then we learn about some of Lassiter's past and what went on with him. And Lassiter is creating tons and tons of lessers. And then Lassiter and Raven work things out. They get together. They actually have a mating ceremony. He gets her name carved on his back. I'm sorry. I thought he was an angel. I thought he was spiritual. I didn't think he was physical. I guess he is physical. I don't know. So there's all this stuff. Lots of relationships going on here. Eddie and Aiden are gonna join the Brotherhood. And Lash is making Omegas. He's making Lessers. But then we have this huge development at the end of the book. Now, you know that Wrath was holding meetings with the vampire community at Darius's old house. But something occurs at Darius's old house that prevents them from meeting there anymore. And in the midst of all this, with the stuff that's going on with Wrath, and you all know this is coming, I didn't think the book where, the fact, it's good that she didn't stretch it too far or too long, and that the recovery was in the same book, and she didn't make readers wait an entire year for the resolution. She resoluted in this book, which is good. But we do get a very interesting thing that's going on with the Glymera. And if you don't know her identity, sometimes you can't hear her on a video, sometimes you can hear her on a video. But go check out Dirty 30 New Year's Eve, where I hold her up. She goes off every single video. She does not tell time anymore. She hasn't told time in years. But she goes off. Once in a blue moon, she'll do 12, but most of the time it's like 8. But anyways, let me get back to this. It turns out the Glymera are organizing again. They've sent a letter to Wrath about the death of that young male, about the resurgence of the Lessers. They're questioning his leadership at the same time we're cooling our jets in this house, waiting to fight. Strongly worded memos have always been their primary offense, Torment said. They're conflating the death of his family's son and the fact that the audience house is on pause as evidence that Wrath is unresponsive. For Christ's sakes, we're working on setting up another location, and like any of those, they use a bad word, come to see their king. Eddie thought about what had been in the envelope the other night and how much Wrath clearly cared about his people. We made it clear that there's just a delay in audiences, Torment said. It'll be a week tops. We communicated them in our announcement. They're calling the council back into existence. What? As the brothers on the first floor pulled in and closed ranks, Vicious showed his screen. Not that anybody could see the email or text or whatever it was, He then went back to reading aloud. They're challenging Wrath to disband it. There's no critical mass of them anymore, another brother pointed out. There are 5 families left. Well, here's the kicker. They're going to allow everybody in. They're opening up their ranks. They're reestablishing the criteria based on net worth. They have literally a financial cutoff. If bloodline has over that amount, they're on the council. So, that's kind of where we end it with Raven and Lassiter getting together. And then Raven finds her book in the sanctuary, reads the book in the sanctuary, gets massively pissed off at Lassiter, and leaves him. He doesn't give him time to explain. She just leaves. So now Lassiter is suffering again. Then we have the stuff with Wrath. I'll leave that to you to read. And then we have the Glimera forming. And we have Lash creating lessers by the dozens. And him and Davina are still together. So, that is book 21. And give me a couple days and we'll get to Beloved. So please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. All I do is read books and talk books, and sometimes I spend so much time praying that my sound continues to work. I held up the other day, I did a James Patterson book review, and I had brought out the next book to show it at the end of the video and ended up holding the wrong book the entire video. So that's how much the sound issue is driving me crazy. But if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.